So this is Rebecca with Off-White Living, and I'm looking at a beautiful bouquet of herbs that was gifted to me by some good friends. And I thought it's a great opportunity to kind of show what fresh herbs look like and what you can do with them. So here in the front there's some basil. And now this basil probably will only keep for a couple more days. It's in a container with water right now. But what I'll want to do with it is make it into a pesto or put it into my spaghetti sauces or what have you. And then over here we've got some fresh cilantro. Actually, I think this is the parsley here. So we've got some fresh parsley, some Italian parsley, and sometimes called flat leaf parsley. And parsley is actually a pretty mild flavor enhancer. Obviously it's a garnish, but you could also even add it to water to freshen your water. It goes well in Italian dishes and even in some Indian dishes. And I actually like to put parsley and basil in my salads. This kind of adds an element to it. And then up here we have the dill. And you can see the fronds on the dill are actually really thin. And I can actually just take these and kind of pluck them a little bit and kind of pull them off so that I have just the little frond, and that actually I could put in the freezer and it will just be available to me later on in the year if I want to sprinkle this on some fish or make any kind of a potato salad or put it in my water also. And then down here is the cilantro, and so obviously things like salsas, again curry dishes are really good with cilantro as well. All of these herbs, because they're green, can be soothing to the liver according to the Chinese medicine model, and they're all pretty anti-inflammatory, which is really fun because you can play with flavor and get some really good nutrition. Things like cilantro in the Chinese medicine model anyway, because they have this sort of rounded, expansive leaf. See how it kind of flares out? That's actually good for balancing the fire energy of the body. So there's a cooling nature here. And to some degree the same thing with the basil leaf, although it's a little bit more pointy, so that would be more appropriate for the liver as well. And then I'm not too sure about the dill plant actually from the Chinese medicine perspective, so I'll have to look into that. But then the same with the parsley, that cooling essence that it provides, that those leaves are really similar to cilantro. That's really good for balancing too much fire. So if you have a really spicy dish, these are helpful, or in terms of if it's too hot, parsley is really cooling. And I'm going to say the same thing about dill too, only because I know that things like cucumber dill salad or dill on fish is a really cooling kind of an herb, so it might have the same property. And these are all summer plants anyway, and so you can kind of tell sometimes when something grows what it harmonizes. So things that grow in the heat probably are going to harmonize heat, fire, sun, however you want to call it. And as much as possible, we want to use fresh herbs, and then when they're not available, somehow preserving them either in a pesto with the basil or just drying the fronds, or you know, you can obviously dry a parsley or a cilantro so that you can have them fresh. And I'm just not sure how these leaves actually freeze up. I bet you could probably do something where you make some kind of a kind of sauce or something with them in there, and it would be just fine also. And that's Rebecca Tryon with Off-White Living. I'm just going to pan out a little bit in our beautiful bouquet of herbs here, and happy cooking and happy off-white eating.